We just have a few minutes here to let the trustees get settled. We had some photo ops upstairs, so, but want to get this meeting started, so everyone's time is valuable. Everybody in? Good morning, and thank you all for attending the WMU Board of Trustees meeting. It's my pleasure to be here with you today, and we're here to discuss some important matters and make decisions that shape our university. But first, I just want to acknowledge and thank the board members, and thank all of you for being champions of Western Michigan University. So we will begin. Dr. Schumann, do we have a quorum?
We do.
And is the live streaming all set?
Getting a thumbs up from Jacob. We are.
Okay, very well. At this time, I'd entertain a motion from the board to accept today's agenda. Support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Any comments from the trustees concerning the minutes from March 15th meeting? If not, I'd like to accept a motion for approval.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Approved. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to take a moment to express thanks to one of our former trustees, Curtis Reinveld. He's here with us today, and to recognize him for his invaluable service. Pardon me? Truvan. Oh, did I say Turfy? Oh, sorry. Hey, sorry. Curtis Truvan. Sorry. Curtis Truvan, who is with us today in the audience. And I think the board wants to take a minute to recognize him for his invaluable service with his tenure on the board, and his dedication to good governance, which this board is highly pursuing and wanting to take that responsibility seriously, along with all our fiduciary responsibilities. And certainly we appreciate Curtis's role in helping us collaborate better with our local tribes. So if Curtis Trevan will stand, and let's have a round of applause. I could say out of sight, out of mind. I don't, Otherwise, thank you, Curtis, very much. So we're going to turn our attention a little bit more to some opening comments here, but I certainly want to recognize this Saturday as a celebratory occasion. It's a graduation. We have the 340th commencement ceremonies this Saturday. We've got 9, noon, 3, and 6 p.m. in Miller Auditorium. We also have one of our trustees, Trustee John Holdley, who is also graduating this Saturday. It's always a great occasion. It's a joyous day recognizing the students, and I certainly want to thank President Montgomery, who's there to give 4 speeches that day. It's a long day for him. But also extend my gratitude to the faculty and the staff and the administrators and everybody who makes that ceremony very special for the parents and the students who walk across that podium. So anyways, thank you all very much. And speaking of milestones, we've come to the conclusion of the Dunbar renovation. We're delighted to have a ceremony later this afternoon to celebrate and recognize that coming online. And for me, it's always great to see projects that you've been a part of come to fruition. I mean, we've had the Student Center, which has been great success, and now we have the Dunbar. So it's an applaud to everyone. And we'll all have remarks there later, but certainly the board has heartfelt thanks to, everyone that was a part of that renovation, whether it be the architects, construction workers, our leadership team, or even this forming committee that planned it from the get-go. So we really, really, truly appreciate that, and it's just another jewel on the crown of Western's campus. There's some other good news to report. On April 20th, AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Union Local 1668, ratified a letter of understanding offered by Western and their work. So it was a 17-month accumulation of effort on both parts. So I applaud all the teams that were heavily involved with that. It's great news, and that'll be on our agenda a little bit later. I think at that point, Vice President Jan Vanderklay will be giving us a little presentation on it to let everyone know exactly what is involved in that contract. But before we do that, is Sarah here? Yeah, okay. I'd like to acknowledge Sarah Dr. Sarah Summy, Faculty Senate President, during her 2-year term of 22-24. It's been a pleasure to work with Sarah. She'll be stepping down. I believe this is her last official meeting, and the next president will be taking over for Sarah, but it's certainly been a pleasure, Sarah. So if you could stand and let the board give you a recognition. So, for today's agenda, we have the ASME Union Rights Agreement, we have a personnel report, and it's a pretty light agenda. So with that, I will turn it over to President Montgomery.
Thank you, Chair Edgerton. I just want to personally acknowledge Kurt's presence and thank him. He's been a great board member, and I know you've helped move the board forward on governance and a variety of other issues. You were a wise counsel during some trying time for the campus. You came in during COVID time, and you made a big difference. So I just want to personally thank you, Kurt. As Chair Edgerton mentioned, commencement is right around the corner on Saturday. We'll have 2,100 graduates who will join the ranks of our alums. It is a great occasion. It's something that I think Western does better than any other school I've been at. We'll have our designated huggers-in-chief out there who make it a special moment for our students. It's a moment that matters incredibly for them. It also matters a lot for their families and the whole community. It is the culmination of all that we do. Hundreds and thousands of hours put in by everybody in this room and around this campus, invested in our students, and it shows up in their success. And so we celebrate as much as they celebrate, and we're looking forward to it. I've got my elbow iced and ready to go for 2,000 handshakes and my bottle of Purell as well. So it should be a fun and joyous occasion. And I invite everybody to come and be part of that, and really want to say thanks for everybody who helps inspire and makes our campus, the whole experience, what it really is. And that takes every single one of us. So thank you. Dunbar, as Chair Edgerton mentioned, will be officially opened now. It's been renovated. I got a chance to see a dance performance up there, which was amazing. Amazing new facility on the top floor. Hats off to our deans, Koretsky and Guyette, and their teams who worked on this, all of the construction folks who helped make it possible. It is a wonderful, wonderful facility, and I think it will give our students a chance to have world-class experiences. So again, hats off to everybody who were part of that. Dr. Summy, I got to also give my own shout out to you. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you over the last year. I think 2 years you've guided the Senate through WES's implementation, a number of curricular proposals, revisions, and rules around how we think about those, and you've made a real difference. And you've been always an incredibly collegial person to work with, so I appreciate you personally. Thank you. At the end of the year, obviously, is a time for celebration on a variety of fronts. We've got some awards and some award winners that we want to make sure that we congratulate and give a shout out to. We have 2 distinguished WMU faculty who received the 2024 Presidential Innovation Professorship Awards. They recognize faculty for their creative and entrepreneurial approach to their disciplines. These awards are announced earlier this month during the Research, Innovation, and Creative Scholarship Celebration Week, hosted by the Office of Research and Innovation. The 2 winners were Dr. Devin Bloom, Associate Professor of Biological Sciences, who's conducting research entitled Using the Tree of Life to Detect Genomic and Phenomic Signatures of Migratory Jawless Fishes, and Dr. Daniela Schroeder, Associate Professor of Public Administration in the School of Public Affairs and Administration. Her project is System-Wide Sustainability Evaluation, a research and capacity building agenda to further evaluation for sustainable development. I want to congratulate both of them. Yeah. We had a number of other exceptional award winners. There are several faculty who won the 2024 Excellence in Research Awards during that week. They're pioneering research and creative studies, leading the way for our students globally. And also, of course, I want to make sure I give a shout out to Dr. Ramsey Seeker and the Office of Research for all of their work putting this together and making sure that we keep research front and center in the university's agenda. Speaking of award winners and recognition, the Syracuse Health Center it renewed its accreditation by the Ambulatory Health Care Association, meeting their national standards. Only about half of university healthcare centers meet that bar, and so we want to make sure that Gail Rogerio and her team get acknowledgement and recognition and thanks for making sure that our healthcare services are first rate. So how about a round of applause for that? Other award winners amongst our faculty and staff: Anthony Perez, Assistant Director of Admissions, Multicultural Recruitment and Outreach. He was featured speaker at the Michigan Association of College Admission Counselors 24 conference. It was an industry event that gave opportunity to showcase Western's expertise statewide. I want to thank Anthony for representing Western in the Office of Admissions. He's worked tirelessly to make sure our students' experience is inviting and attracting them to Western. Want to also make sure we give a shout out to Dr. Candy McCorkle, who recently was named the 2024 Michigan American Council on Education's Distinguished Woman in Higher Education Award winner. Each year, MyACE network identifies an exceptional woman who exhibits leadership at their institutions, professions, and society at large. Candy. Congratulations. Very well deserved. Also, others having an impact around the campus. We had College 2024 Academic Advising Awards ceremony, where we recognized outstanding advisors from across the campus. This year's award-winning winners were Outstanding New Advisor, Mackenzie Villek, from the College of Arts and Sciences, the Services and Academic Advising Awardee, Colleen Stano from the Hayward College of Business, and the Student Choice Awardee, Alyssa Garrett, also from HCOB, the Excellence in Academic Advising Awardee, Jessica Parker from Merce Tate. So congratulations to all them, and congratulations to Mika Griffin-Brown, our Assistant Dean for Academic Advising, for leading our advising efforts. It's making a difference in our students' lives, so thank all them. And speaking of our tradition of celebrating excellence, we recently also had the Make a Difference Awards, where individuals who have given to the campus and contributed way above and beyond their job descriptions, making this environment not only a great place for our students to go, but also for us all to work. And so I want to make sure that I acknowledge all those Make a Difference Award winners and read off their names. Grant Allers from Public Safety, Joe Erskine from Student Rights and Responsibility, Maya Hughes from Academic Supports Programs, Karen Lawson from Admissions, Taylor Murcell from the College of Education and Human Development, Joan Morin from the University Libraries, Rebecca Pop from Facilities Maintenance Services, Jerry Pulsley from Industrial Entrepreneur Engineering and Engineering Management, Nicole Slater, Facilities Management Building Custodial Support, Kathleen Smith, Office of Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Camilla Todd, VP for Business and Finance, Amy Vance, Office of Information Technology, and Sarah Wolmering, University Libraries. How about a round of applause for them? And I want to thank everybody for their Giving Day efforts. You may have seen this video and gave anyway, and so I humiliate myself on an annual basis for these things, but this was this year's video. So, but anyway, it was a great turnout, and thank everybody for giving back to their favorite part of the campus. We got over 2,000 people gave a gift on that day, and about $1 million were raised. So thank you, everybody, for that. And of course, it would not have occurred without Kristen DeVries and her team from University Advancement, who helped do outreach and a lot of social media, including these, and were part of that effort. I also want to make sure I congratulate Mackenzie Meyer, a master's student in our Department of English, who received a Fulbright U.S. Student Program Award to serve as an English teaching assistant in Spain during the 24-25 year. Winning a Fulbright as a student is an incredible accomplishment. Even elite universities count on less than a few fingers how many of their students win this. So this is a big deal. I won't say what Biden said, but it's a big deal. And so I really want to make sure that we congratulate Mackenzie Meyer and all of her colleagues for helping her through the award. And she's going to, I'm sure, have a great experience in Spain. But that's a really impressive accomplishment. Yeah. our students, our faculty are always engaged in the community, and I want to give a shout out to Sigma Chi fraternity. 30 members of them recently took part in a cleanup effort in Kalamazoo along the Kalamazoo River and Trail cleanup. They were organizing a day for everybody else. These guys came out on a different day and put their time in. They collected about 1,200 pounds of litter. And the head of the association was so enthralled he had to make sure that we knew about their efforts. So I want to make sure that we thank them for their efforts in making our community a better place to live. So thank you to Sigma Chi fraternity. With that, I will stop and turn it back over to you, Chair.
Thank you, President Montgomery. Moving along on the agenda, we'll now get updates from our shared governance partners, starting with Faculty Senate. Dr. Summey.
President Montgomery, colleagues, and guests, on behalf of the WMU Faculty Senate, thanks for the opportunity to address you one last time. It has been my honor and privilege to serve as the faculty voice in shared governance at WMU for the past 2 years. My respect and admiration for individuals comprising our Board of Trustees has increased exponentially over the course of my tenure, and I want to thank each of you. I would also like to thank my partners in shared governance, the WSA, and for a short period of time, the GSA. The WSA is one of the hardest working associations on campus. It would be impossible to preside over the Faculty Senate without strong senior campus leaders willing to sacrifice so much for the greater good. President Montgomery, members of the Cabinet, and the Provost Council, thank you for your guidance and many collaborations. The Executive Board of the Faculty Senate deserves the majority of my gratitude, as without this esteemed group of colleagues, none of the important work that we do would be possible. And I would like to say thank you to them and acknowledge them. And I'll ask them to stand when I call their name. Vice President of the Senate, Paul Pencella, Professor of Physics. Osama Abadiah, Chair, Civil and Construction Engineering. Lisa Decano-Cook, School of Environment, Geography, and Sustainability. Anthony DeFulio, Professor of Psychology. He's unable to attend. Kieran Fogarty, Director of the PhD Program in Interdisciplinary Health Services. Decker Haynes, Chair of Management, also not able to attend. John Jellies, Professor of Biological Sciences, and retiring after 28 years, many years spent in the Senate, so thank you to him. Brett Wagner, Associate Professor of Marketing, also not here, and Z. Vidic, Associate Professor, Health Performance and Health Education. And some of them are going to scoot out now because they have exams. But they did show up. The Senate has completed many significant MOAs and reports over the last 2 years, and I'm going to give you a few highlights. Revising the principles of curriculum, which sparked an increase in curriculum proposals, and you all know that because you got to review them, and so did our curriculum manager, who just walked out of the room, Lisa Decano-Cook. We also had the development of unaffiliated units curriculum committee, and while not approved by the Senate, and returned to the Research Policy Council for further review, an equitable process for the distribution of the Faculty Research Travel Fund. We've also had 2 ad hoc committees, one on artificial intelligence and the other on centers and institutes, and their committee reports are due to the Executive Board tomorrow. None of this would be possible without the body of the Faculty Senate, comprised of unit representatives from all over campus. The responsibility to serve as a conduit between the faculty members in each unit and the representative decision-making body of the Senate can be daunting and is critical to the function of our shared governance. I thank each senator for their participation. Finally, I'd like to extend sincere thanks to our councils and committee members. These members work very hard on behalf of the Faculty Senate, and to them a huge debt is owed. Our councils and committees' production in specific areas depends on the efforts of the faculty, staff, and administrators who share the same content-specific expertise to execute significant initiatives throughout this university. I would now like to update you on a few things from the Senate in the last couple weeks. The focus of the Campus Planning and Finance Council April meeting was on enrollment forecasting, including examining processes, understanding how it affects budgeting, and evaluating the accuracy of past forecasts. William Stutz, Associate Director of Institutional Research, was a guest presenter. The Undergraduate Studies Council maintains a subcommittee for service learning. While there were no new proposals in the last 2 years, discussion was held on how service learning can complement the experiential learning initiative here at WMU, and will be something that they will be pursuing. The directors of the first-year learning program also reported to the Undergraduate Studies Council, and they are interested in increasing faculty participation in the program. The council is proposing that a working group be created to evaluate how to achieve growth in participation. And finally, the WMU Essential Studies Executive Advisory Committee has developed a plan for the 4th year review, and that will take place next year. Thank you, Chair Edgerton, for allowing me to address all of you today. I'm available for any questions.
I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you for your leadership over the last 2 years. And of course, you have an incredible team that's working collaboratively in the Faculty Senate, but best wishes on having a little bit more free time, and thank you for all of your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Summey. Now I'd like to bring up our next shared governance partner, WSA, Melissa Powers. Also like to take a moment to thank Melissa for her service. She's going to introduce her new leadership for the WSA, but she stepped in and served well, and I believe you're graduating this Saturday.
Yes,
So
yes.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Chair Edgerton, and good afternoon, Chair Edgerton, members of the board, and all in attendance. I speak to you today now as the former student body president. I'm here to give my thanks and appreciation for all the support that the Western Student Association has received throughout this year. I'm also here to share some of the many successes that WSA has had this year. These successes include the 125 unique RSOs that were able to receive funding through our Allocations Commission, totaling over $600,000 allocated this year. A huge thank you to Tyler Smith for all of the hard work and dedication he has put into this allocations process over the past 2 years as he served as the Director of Allocations. Other exciting accomplishments include the creating of 2 new social justice scholarships, as well as the establishment of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Week, as well as Women's History Month events. Again, I thank all of those who have supported the Western Student Association during another amazing year of empowered students, empowering students. Without the support and guidance of many, including our shared governance partners, we would not be able to reach such high levels of success. Above all, I would like to give a thanks to the incredible leadership team within the Western Student Association this year. Being a student leader is not always easy, but this group of individuals were able to soar to new heights and to set a new meaning to what it looks like to be a student leader. I am honored and privileged to have served alongside such amazing leaders this year. With the successes of this year coming to a close, we look forward to another great year of WSA. April 10th marked the official transition to the next administration within the Western Student Association. I look forward to seeing all the good that Student Body President Alex Kasperzak and her team will accomplish this year, and know that I'm always rooting for you guys, even from afar. Thank you, and as always, onward for the brown and gold. I now welcome Student Body President Alex Kasperzak to say a few words.
Thank you, President Powers, for both your leadership and passion for making Western a better place for students. Speaking on behalf of the entirety of the Western Student Association, our community will be forever thankful for you. Good morning, Chair Edgerton and the rest of the board. My name is Alex Kasperzak, and I am a senior majoring in biology. I am both humbled and extremely excited to be standing up here today introducing myself as the Student Body President for the 2024-2025 academic year. I would also like to introduce my talented executive board, Vice President Luke Kritzman, who will be a junior majoring in piano performance, Chief of Staff Jordan Dunn, who will be a sophomore majoring in political science, and Chief of Finance Mason Durad, who will be a senior majoring in economics. I would also like to give a shout out to any other student leaders here today. Our presidential campaign had one goal: making Western Michigan University a home for all students, HOME. These 4 pillars sets the Western Student Association in the correct direction to serve even more students than before. H stands for honesty. Honesty to us highlights a commitment to transparency and governance for the benefit of all the students that we represent. We will achieve this goal by focusing on organizational integrity, by being transparent in what we do and ensuring stability. O stands for Onward for the Brown and Gold. This section of the fight song was chosen to represent our deep love for the community that we are a part of and highlights our commitment both to our Bronco pride as well as the idea that everything we will be working towards is for the benefit of all Broncos, current and future. M stands for meaning. Being a part of the Western Student Association for the last few years has given our college years a deeper meaning, and I feel that that is something that all students at Western deserve to feel. We believe that allowing one's passion to evolve into true meaning is a fundamental key to developing all leaders of the future, and we will fight to promote that wherever we can. Finally, E stands for effectiveness. We have some ambiguous goals for the Western Student Association this year, and it is important to lead effectively in order for these goals to be achieved. We need to make sure that our house is in order to achieve these goals. We will work internally to empower and promote the other two branches of the Western Student Association to work together to be a well-oiled empowerment machine for the benefit not only of everyone involved internally, but also for the benefit of all Broncos. Myself and my team all have one thing in common. We have immense pride and love for Western Michigan University. We are ready to start the work that will empower the future generation of Broncos, and we are all excited to serve the student body and work with you all this upcoming year. Thank you, and as always, onward for the brown and gold, and I will take any questions.
Any questions? If not, thank you, Alex, and thank you to your team. Dr. Montgomery, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. So, Alex, looking forward to working with you in the year ahead and looking forward to working with your team. And Melissa, thank you. You did a great job and we're fantastic to work with. And so thank you both and your administrations at WSA. Very good shared governance partners. So look forward to the year ahead. Now I'd like to turn to a presentation of the Bronco Challenge for Sustainable Impact. It's a competition that's in its second year. It's supported now through our experience-driven learning grants in part as well. The challenge, which is open to all students of all majors, provides an opportunities for them to participate in problem-solving experience-driven learning around sustainability. Throughout the year, they complete and develop a sustainability project based on their own ideas, focusing on solutions to challenges highlighted by one or more of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, while also addressing relevant aspects of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The final outcome of each project could be a concept for a product, a service, a business, or a public policy. These projects have had an incredible addition to Western's commitment to sustainability and challenging our students to solve some of the world's most complex problems. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Timothy Palmer, Professor of Management and Director of the Center for Sustainable Business Practices, Dr. Neil Drobny, Program Director for the Bronco Challenge for Sustainable Impact and Instructor in Management in the Haywood School of Business, and Chloe Federal, a junior studying digital marketing and e-commerce, as well as general business. It's all you.
Good morning. Thank you all very much for having us here today. I'm Tim Palmer. I'm a professor in the Department of Management in the Hayworth College of Business, and I direct our college's Center for Sustainable Business Practices. And one of my main goals as a director is to help ensure that we as a college develop the next generation of responsible business leaders. And a key tool to do that is through experiential education. And a number of examples. For one example is that we have the university's only required ethics and sustainability class that all of our undergraduates take that has a service learning component to it. And each year we generate nearly 4,000 to 5,000 hours of community service where students are assisting in the community, but also developing their teamwork, their leadership, their communication skills. And so it's a win-win. We have a New York Times award-winning sustainability study abroad to India. I'm still recruiting, and so I plug that everywhere that I go. Our most recent addition is the Bronco Challenge, and as you mentioned, we were fortunate to get a Provost Accelerator grant. It's a project that we've developed in conjunction with the Office for Sustainability, so I thank Jeff for that assistance, the Hayworth College of Business Communications Center, and Renika Hamilton with the Cedar Scholars Program. And so we're doing this together as a team. And so with that as an intro, let me introduce Dr. Neil Drobny, my colleague and friend, who's really the brainchild behind the Bronco Challenge.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning, all. It's my pleasure to be here and tell you about the Bronco Challenge. As you've heard, we're just the second year in existence, so that makes us a new kid on the block. So if you haven't heard of us, that's understandable, but we hope to correct that over the next year or two. The essence of the challenge, the Bronco Challenge, is it's a co-curricular competition that is team-based and idea-driven to find a solution to sustainability problems. And there's no short of problems that fall within the bucket of sustainable issues. A key dimension of the challenge is that students pick their own teams. We advise them to pick teams that have a strong interdisciplinary component to them, because the reservoir of intellectual talent and creative problem solving is better if you have a diverse team that's working on it. The challenge works with 4-person teams, again, self-selected. They also pick their own problem, and by setting it up that way, the students are working on something about which they have a passion. Sometimes in a classroom you get assigned to work on a project, team members you don't know, and a problem you don't care about. This sort of turns that upside down and really puts into play a high degree of interest. It's an idea-driven challenge in that students are asked to come up with a transformative idea for a product, a service, a business, or a public policy that is structured around sustainability principles. And they learn in working through the challenge how difficult it is to work through the barriers when you try to get sustainability principles worked into your everyday life, be it your personal life or your work. As a co-curricular activity, there's no grades. Students work for prizes, and prizes come from sponsors who contribute $5,000 each. This year we had 7 corporate sponsors and 2 university sponsors. Corporate sponsors whose names you'll recognize were Meyer, Pfizer, and Owens Corning. Here on campus, 2 units that contributed as sponsors were the College of Business and the Office of Sustainability. Winners are determined by judges that we recruit from the expert community in sustainability. Includes both industry representatives and faculty. This year we had 8 judges, and they received reports from the teams about early April, and then last Wednesday they listened to presentations and voted on the spot for who the winners were. And you're going to hear from one of those in a minute. We had 4 teams compete this year. That doesn't seem like a lot of people, but there's a huge barrier that we're working to overcome, which is making students on campus aware of the challenge and what the advantages of participating might be. So we had 4 teams, that's 16 people. I hope next year we can double that, and the year afterwards double that even more. So one of the ways we're achieving that growth is through help from the experience-driven grant that Tim just mentioned. We have funding to do some things over the summer. For example, we're going to be building an online model where students who are looking for a team to join can go in and find teams that are looking for talent, and vice versa. The teams can go in and find students. Hopefully, that's going to significantly increase our participation. We did invite all 16 students who participated this year to come. I don't think any are here. If I'm missing any of you, please raise your hand and stand up. I think I'm right, there are none here. They're busy with finals and other things, but let's give them a round of applause for participation. Students who participated this year, they're not all graduating, only about half of them are graduating, so the other half are my seed corn for next year. They'll be back, and they've told me they will be participating and recruiting others to join with them. So what I'm going to do now is turn things over to Chloe Federoff. She was a winner, one of the team members in the winning competition this year. And she has a very interesting message about what her experience has been in participating in the Bronco Challenge. So Chloe, it's all yours.
I want to thank the Board of Trustees for allowing me here today as a student representative for the Bronco Challenge for Sustainable Impact. My team and I spent both fall and spring semesters developing our submission to the challenge and were able to present it last Wednesday and placed first. Our project, full disclosure, is an innovative data collection reporting tool designed to incentivize businesses to integrate ethical labor practices into their international supply chains. We do this through a reporting process that scans UPC barcodes and assigns a rating for the product based on the fair trade standards for ethical labor. I was lucky enough to take on this challenge with very close friends of mine, Victoria Loikitz, Will Rosine, and Seth Byrne. But our project is not what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about the challenge and specifically why it is so important to have programs like this on campus. Experiential learning, collaboration, problem solving. The Bronco Challenge ignites a passion for education through these three means. Firstly, the program presents students with the opportunity to immerse themselves in their educational goals. This is done by taking students out of the classroom and presenting them with not only real problems, but with high stakes. While there's incentive in the classroom to perform well, the challenge encourages students to do their very best by competing to earn a large sum of money. This incentivizes students to deep dive into their academic background and apply a large range of different skill sets. Within the project, students are provided the opportunity to perform experiential case studies that are directly applicable to their chosen real-world problem. My team, full disclosure, took this to the next level in our project while exploring labor ethics within the international supply chain. This past December, I, alongside of my two teammates, traveled to India to participate in the sustainability study abroad alongside Dr. Palmer. While there, we took the opportunity to perform our case study on labor ethics within the Darjeeling tea gardens. Our study abroad experience brought us closer as a team and allowed us to be involved with experiential learning to the highest degree. It also helped us ask questions that we otherwise would not have, while forcing us to think about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in a real-world situation. Secondly, this program allows students to work in tandem with those in different areas of study. For instance, my team consisted of majors such as business law, human resource management, biochemistry, and digital marketing. By teaming up, we were able to utilize each other's skill sets to tackle a multifaceted problem we all felt individual passion for. This collaborative effort brought forth the most important characteristics of our specialties and allowed us to learn from each other. On top of that, our teamwork required trust and willingness to learn. We knew we would need to play to our strengths and weaknesses to reach our end goal. This level of collaboration is necessary and can be absent when students are confined exclusively to the classroom. Take it from a business student who only ever interacts with business students. Working alongside teammates who are studying different disciplines helped me to better understand the real-world work environment that I'll soon be entering. Lastly, the format of the program is unique in the way that it does not present students with their objective. Instead, students must choose a real-world issue within the Sustainable Development Goals. The open-ended nature of the competition forces students to take a look at the world around them. For us, that came while we were in India. For others, they found issues in their own backyards. What makes the project special is that students have the opportunity to do whatever they want with it. They're able to amplify their passions into objective, attainable, and meaningful action while receiving helpful and important feedback from a panel of industry experts. Being able to create a passion project and then receive critiques from the judges helps students' projects become more feasible to implement after the competition. The Bronco Challenge for Sustainable Impact is a unique exploration of educational creativity in the realm of sustainable initiatives. Encouraging students to engage with the Sustainable Development Goals and to consider impactful changes that could be made in and outside their own communities opens the door for important environmental change on campus and in Kalamazoo. By encouraging these students to creatively solve local problems, not only are they gaining invaluable education experiences, but those local problems might get solved. It allowed me to work side by side with those in different areas of studies, forced me to think strategically about an issue near to my heart, and helped me develop the skills necessary for my future career. I did this project in both of my years here at Western, and both experiences shaped my educational development in different ways, as each project explored various aspects of sustainable development. I believe that through funding these programs, Western will be helping students develop experiential learning, encourage interdisciplinary collaboration, and help develop applicable problem-solving skills in real-world situations. Thank you.
Any question for the group?
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Chloe, on your victory. That was a very nice presentation. You did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm curious, it's a very interesting program, and it looks like it's growing. After going through the program, what recommendations would you have to make it better? And how do you think we could get this type of a program out in other universities?
Absolutely. So I've actually been very lucky to be blessed with the opportunity to take on a paid role for the Bronco Challenge this summer as their marketing expert. So I'm actually going to be rolling out our marketing initiatives across campus during the summer. I think the project in itself leaves so much exploration that the definitions of it don't really need to be refined at this point in time. I've done the project my freshman year as well as this year, and the interchangeable aspects of it have made it such a unique experience, where my project last year has nothing in comparison to what I did this year. And I'm really proud of both of the projects I was able to create. I think expanding this outside of WMU is an amazing thing that we definitely should be doing. I think building this up within our community first is definitely something that we should prioritize, but further marketing this project after its success at Western is definitely a goal.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
With that, Dr. Schumann, do we have any public comments at this time?
Chair Edgerton, we do not have any public comments regarding action items. We do have one interested party at the end of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. I'll move further on to action items. Vice President Vanderklay, would you like to lead us through the AFSCME contract?
I would, thank you. And as our chair indicated, this has been a 17-month project. And on any journey, you can have detours, but we did reach the desired destination. And so I want to thank a few people. On my right, I have Dave and Brian, Vice President and President of AFSCME, if you could stand. Sorry, guys, I'm calling you out. And so AFSCME engagement and leadership has been crucial because they understand their membership's needs and perspective and could share those as we went through the process. And on my left, I have Kurt and Warren. Would you both please stand? And they're going to be mad at me. Thank you. So Kurt and Warren are experts both on the AFSCME contract as well as compensation and overall human resource practices and policies. So we would not have been able to achieve our destination without everybody working together. There is not one of us, whether you're a guest, a student, faculty, staff member, who does not benefit daily from the work done by AFSCME. They are dining, landscaping, skilled trades, maintenance. They do parking enforcement. I'm missing one, I gotta look at my list, and locksmith and custodial service. So you just can't go anywhere without seeing the benefit of their work. What we had noticed, both within AFSCME and within management, is that we were really having a hard time filling key positions. It was not across AFSCME, but very specific jobs. And together we decided to embark on the journey of using a process that had been in place multiple years for our non-bargaining staff. So we engaged an outside third party and to review the job descriptions. There are 60 job descriptions. I don't think this process had ever been used before, so this is the first for the history of WMU. Kathy Kane Babbitt, who's not here, Chief Steward for ASME, did yeoman's work, as did Kurt Graham in reviewing the job descriptions. That was the basis of AON reviewing and comparing against market. Market is defined as median, which means 50% is paid above it, and 50% is paid lower than that rate. As a result of the effort, we discovered that there were actually several positions that were paid below market. All dining, all parking enforcement, several landscaping positions, certain trades, skilled positions were also under market. It came to about, I think, maybe 110 people impacted out of a membership of not quite 300. I'm getting nods and thumbs up there. So you can tell this was a significant outcome for the members. The difference between a current pay and what market per position, it ranged from 64 cents per hour to $5.82 per hour. So this is very impactful for the individuals. It was a reiterative, say the word for me, process. Lots of meetings where we had Diane Anderson, our Vice President for Student Affairs, and her teams dining, the stewards, as well as the leadership. Brian and Kathy were there, Kurt Warren, many, many meetings. Reviewing the results, looking at the impact, making sure we had the job descriptions right, making sure that the results of the AON study made sense to us all. So with that, on April 20th, ASME did ratify a letter of understanding that summarized the outcome. And in that letter of understanding, we changed the actual pay for specific pay grades as identified by AON. So there was a new pay grade for the unit. And in addition, per the existing contract, a 2% increase would become effective July 1 of 24. We're moving it forward to April 29th this month. So with that, we're asking for the Board of Trustee approval today. And we're recommending that they approve the wage rates reflected in the attached chart for ASME members to be effective April 29th, 2024. And that chart does include the 2% increase as well as the AON market rate changes. Happy to answer questions.
Any questions for Jan? I'm going to have ASME come up. Oh, before we take a vote. Brian, President Sutton.
She was going to speak after the vote, sorry.
Oh, can I have before, in case they want to ask questions? Would you like to speak? I'd like, in case there's questions from the members.
I'll have to apologize. I thought I was speaking after the vote, and I assumed that it was
And I
going to pass.
apologize
So
for
somewhere in here, it's going.
But I think it's important to hear
I'll
from
be
you. Just
thanking
in
you
case-
for supporting something
Yeah.
you haven't voted on yet. But good morning, good afternoon, wherever we are. My name is Brian Sutton, and I am proud to be the president of the American Federation State, County, Municipal Employees here at Western Michigan University. As you heard, several months ago, AFSCME and Western Michigan University began discussions regarding some challenges that we were facing in filling some of the many vacant AFSCME positions. It was determined that the best course of action was to review every AFSCME job description, make changes where appropriate, and then send that information out to have a compensation analysis done. We don't have language in our collective bargaining agreement that allows for us to force the university to discuss compensation with us, and our agreement does not expire until next year. We appreciate the university's willingness to initiate this compensation review when they were not obligated to. This was a long, tedious, and time-consuming process, but eventually we got all of the data back a couple of weeks ago. The data was surprising, both from a positive standpoint, but also with some disappointment. The data indicated that roughly 110 of our members are being compensated below market value. and that the remaining approximately 220 are either at or above market value based on how Aon compiles its information. On April 19th, our members were asked to vote on whether or not to accept the wage corrections for many of our members, and the majority of them agreed to do so. While we are very happy for those who will see their compensation increase, there are still many left who will not see an increase, and many of those people work in jobs that have had multiple vacancies for quite some time. I am asking all of you to understand that the passing of this proposal is not an indication that the members of AFSCME are happy about the fact that 65% of us are not seeing an increase. What the passing of this means is that our members stood behind our brothers and sisters who are receiving an increase and are hopeful that this will continue to allow us to work together in a professional and collaborative manner going forward as we acknowledge and discuss the challenges that still lie before us. AFSCME has been proudly serving students and the WMU community for over 60 years, and we will continue to do so. However, we still have several vacancies that will not become easier to fill without an increase in compensation or benefits, and these have and will continue to make it more difficult for us to meet the needs of our students in a manner that they expect and deserve. The data may have indicated that the current compensation for these positions is in line with market value, but the fact remains that we will still not have the human resources needed to do what we need to do in order to make the student experience everything that we all want and need it to be. As I stated earlier, it is our hope and desire that the university leadership will continue to work with us to come up with mutually beneficial solutions to this, as well as all of the other challenges that we will have in front of us. In closing, I again want to thank Jan Vanderclay and Diane Anderson and the rest of the university team for offering this opportunity outside of the traditional collective bargaining process. I want to thank the board for your anticipated approval on this. My biggest thanks have to go out to Kathy Kane-Babbitt, our chief steward, the members of our executive board, and the rest of the AFSCME bargaining team, as they did all of the heavy lifting to get us to this point, and to the members of AFSCME who stood up and showed what it means to be part of a union. Thank you.
Thank you, President Sutton. I really appreciate those comments, and certainly appreciate you and your team and the work and efforts that went into this. I know it was pretty tedious when you look at 17 months and in doing that, but I do believe it's the first steps of bringing everyone in line. So certainly appreciate all the teams that work on that. Anybody have any questions for Jan or anyone? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the contract revisions, the wage agreement.
I move to accept the contract revisions.
Support.
Okay, roll call?
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy. Yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Liggins.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Wood.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to the next item, it's the consent item. It's a personnel report, pretty light for consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions to ask? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent item.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call.
Chair Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Turfy. Yes. Trustee Burris.
Yes.
Trustee Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Hoadley.
Yes.
Trustee Liggins.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Wood.
Yes.
Chair Edgerton, consent items pass.
Thank you. Now moving on to our last item on the agenda, general public comments. Dr. Schumann.
Yes, Chair Edgerton, a Roland Bissonnette is interested in addressing the board. Roland?
Yes, hello, hi. Hello, Chair Egerton, President Montgomery, members of the board, everyone else who's gathered today. My name is Roland Bissonnette. I am a graduating senior here. I'll be walking on Saturday coming up here, and I am a major in the Global and International Studies Department and a member of the Phi Beta Kappa Academic Honor Society. And I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time. I know that we're almost done here in the dulcet tones of birdsong and construction work marking spring or calling us all outside. So I just wanted to say that I know this is a difficult time for universities across the country right now. There are currently protests racking not only Columbia University, the biggest one in the news, but at University of Michigan and Michigan State University, encampments have popped up. And I wanted to speak now to all of you because I very much agree with our WSA leadership and that I agree in transparency, in honesty in leadership, and I would ask for a full release of all financial statements and records from WMU for the last few years to the public, because I want that information available for us to assess and make sure that we as Broncos and as students know that our tuition dollars aren't going to causes that we may disagree with, and having that clarity and peace of mind, I think, would go a long way for keeping Western Michigan ahead of the curve in this fight for human rights, which is currently ongoing. And I would like to ask all of you now to adopt and sign a proclamation in favor of a ceasefire. I know that this is a touchy subject, and a lot of people find speaking about Gaza to be very delicate, and there has been a lot of talk and even congressional hearings on anti-Semitism on college campuses when people protest in favor of the Palestinian people. But I would just like to say that I do not believe peace to be an anti-Semitic notion. That's all I had for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brisson, and congratulations on your graduation. Thank you so much. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, did Judd have,
He didn't want to speak, but you could acknowledge him if
Oh.
you want. He just recently retired.
We'll do that. Before we adjourn, I would like to recognize one of the members of the audience, Judge Hattie. Would you like to stand up and say hi, at least? I don't think you wanted to make comments, but a true Bronco, and congratulations on your recent retirement, but certainly wanted to recognize you.
I just want to say 50 years ago, I got elected president of student government. Last month, so good luck, ladies. Which gives me the opportunity to come and visit with you folks. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for recognizing me.
Thank you.
I just snuck in, but I do appreciate it. I'm so proud to be a Bronco. Kids are outside clapping as one kid, as another student is getting a picture taken with Captain Ghana. And the school of students just walked past and started clapping. And I thought, what great Bronco spirit. It hasn't changed since I left. I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Judge. Okay, motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Right, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone in the audience as well.